to come and experience?
Well, I think that they get to meet one-on-one with scientists and journalists and students, and they get to really experience that firsthand. And I like how they're learning very useful tools like networking and how to talk to people and how to communicate their ideas and learn about different ideas people have. I really like that aspect of coming here and having them share what they know and then learning what other people know.
Are all of you first-time attendees to Science Online? Or
Not all of us.
This is
Only
my-
3 of us.
So raise your hand, I guess, if you've been here before. Okay, all right, okay. Well, do you guys want to talk a little bit about what you like, whether you're a first-time attendee or second time, third time, old pro, whatever. Somebody can just jump in. What do you like most about the conference?
I like hearing what all the different scientists have to say, and all the experts and the postgrads, undergrads, and the people who have their PhDs. And I like to hear all their different views on topics and all the basically almost kind of debate when people have different views and they argue in the sessions. And then it's a kind of exciting to listen to everyone, and then to be able to jump in conversations. I like that too.
It's really weird following these people online for so long, and then you finally get to see them face to face, and they talk to you, and they know your name all of a sudden. It's sort of easy to get starstruck.
It's for us too.
It's really great to like Alex said, meet people that you've seen online and been really I guess admiring, because I've interviewed people that are at the conference now and meet them now. I get to interview them in person, talk to them in person, and it's just it's you get to see the difference between people online and people in person. Also, like if you see the program, the list of sessions, they all have different titles, but some of them have basically the same idea, but everyone takes a different approach to that idea, and it always sparks a different debate. Like Carl said, and it's always fun to watch. Put your input in there, spark another debate. You know, that's always great to have say in what goes on in the sessions.
I like being able to just talk to and meet people who, well, in the realm of science are on a higher level in journalism and all that stuff. And so, therefore, being able to be in discussions of topics that relate to one of my favorite things, which is science, and also my other favorite thing, which is online. Together, they create one of my more favorite things. And so, having intellectual discussions over whatever it may be in any given session is what makes it the best for me.
I think my favorite part of Science Online is like in the classroom we learn about all these different concepts in science, and right now we're taking biology, and it's really interesting coming to Science Online and meeting people who deal with these things, like these concepts, every single day, and hearing their explanation as opposed to a textbook.
I like that it gives us the opportunity to find the people that we read about. I mean, occasionally you see in a newspaper or something, scientists discover this, scientists find that, and now you actually meet these scientists behind that word that always appears. I think that's really a great opportunity.
I like the opportunity. It's a unique experience interacting with people who are experts in science and online and journalism, and like whether they're giving you advice, you could just like take the model after them. I like that aspect of it.
I'm a chemistry teacher at Staten Island Academy, Rachel Ward, and this is my second year coming. What I've taken away from it most is seeing how it inspires our kids and thinking about new ways that we can bring this back and incorporate ideas into our curriculum at the school, and inspire other teachers to investigate new ways of teaching and bringing online applications into what they're doing in the classroom to give everybody the same experience that these kids are having, being so inspired.
Now, what I think is kind of interesting about this conference is that you have a lot of scientists who are communicators, and they do a lot of communicating right now, but you also have a lot of scientists that come here who are looking to learn more about how to do that effectively. And these are people who are, have their PhDs and have been practicing science for years and years. And you guys are coming in and you're learning science in the high school level, but you're getting that dose of good communication skills right from the start. I mean, as some of you who are starting to look towards your future, whether it be in science or whatever the field may be, has this conference kind of changed your perspective on how important it is to translate that work to the public?
Well, the fact that there's an online community for pretty much anything that one can think of, it's all about the fact that there's people out there who will actually read or listen to what you put up there, which is something that's pretty shocking for most. They think, why would anyone care? But being here at Science Online, it's what really taught me that anything that I do, if I find it interesting, there's most likely someone else who will also find it interesting.
So I was in a session and a woman said that she's basically the only scientist who blogs about protists, and I thought that was pretty cool because even though some people may think protists are extremely boring, there would be others that have no idea what protists are and that they want to learn about protists. And so by her blogging about the information that she learns, it helps the community. And if a child is doing a research project on protists, she could be a great source of information.
It's also like we have our own session here, and it's always great because we always have a lot of questions. It's always based on people teaching on how they can get into our minds, how they can really get to get us really active and participating in the science community, whether it be online or in the classroom. And that's always a really great thing because then you have like doctors, like you said, asking us for like advice, and you know it seems kind of weird, but it's really it feels good to know that you can help a doctor with something.
Anybody else want to respond to that one?
I'll respond to it. I think one of the things that I notice here is that you hear from a lot of biologists, which I think is wonderful, and I would love to see. I think it's so important because all of the blogging that's taking place is making, it's creating communication for people at all levels, and I'd love to see more of it in chemistry in my field and have that same interaction. So, but maybe not just in chemistry, but physics as well. I think it's really important to think about open sourcing research so that everybody can benefit and we can change sort of the reputation of science so that it's more accessible for more people.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it a hierarchy, but there's a definite gap that you hear every session talk about how do I make the complex discoveries and studies that I'm doing relevant to the public and the people who don't have their PhDs and aren't having majored in science. And I think that Science Online is doing an incredible job making science more accessible to kids and just anyone who doesn't really know a lot about it. So.
And Ms. Baker, what are the types of things that keep you coming back to this conference every year, and what are the kinds of things that you plan on bringing home to the rest of your students and even the larger community?
Well, one of the great thing, again, I'll say about this conference is you build these connections with people, and then the connections, last for long periods of times, and now I have people wanting to come to my classroom, and so they're not only going to inspire this group of 8 students, they're going to inspire all of my students when they come speak, or all of my students blog in my class, not just these 8 students. And so all of those students have a way of interacting with the people at the conference. Even though they didn't meet them one-on-one in person, they're going to meet them one-on-one online. And so that's a great product of this conference, and meeting all of these people and building these connections.
On that note, I believe it was maybe Thursday, Bora got up and spoke about the big announcement about you and your class, and how you guys are going to be communicating with the public very directly. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you're going to be doing, or what your students are going to be doing, and how that has impacted you guys?
Well, thanks to our blog, Extreme Biology, we already have quite a large audience of people in the public who access and read our blogs. Over 10,000 new views per month of people coming to our blog. But the opportunity that was recently given to us was we were contacted by Nature, and Nature had heard about our blog and the great work that all of these students were doing on it. And they asked me if any of my students would be interested in blogging for them. And so they wanted us to gather proposals, so a number of my students submitted proposals to Nature, and the editor there reviewed those proposals, and they chose 4 students that will be, they will have their own blog posted on the Nature website, Citable. And 2 of those students are here, Nassim and Sam. But they're also thinking about doing other connections with my students. For example, we're going to blog for them on a new conference blog they're going to be doing, and all of these students will be blogging for them for that conference blog. So it's a great connection for them.
Yeah, that's absolutely great. So Nassim and then Sam.
And Sam.
Okay, can y'all tell me a little bit about what this means for you? Because when you think about blogging for a journal as well respected as Nature, and you're still in high school, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, like, it's a great opportunity because, like, not a lot of students get to blog for such a well-known scientific, like, journal. And my topic's gonna be, like, about global warming and how we could help reduce, like, your carbon footprint. And I want people to, like, learn why it's important that we recycle and do this stuff to help save our Earth. And maybe this will get me, like, connections into college, but I'm not doing it because of that. I'm doing it because I like to blog and everything. But maybe it would attract, like, a large audience, and maybe I could become interested one day in a career in science journalism. So if I like blogging for Nature, maybe I will pursue a career in that one.
Well, I think this is a pretty amazing opportunity for not only myself, but for Sam and the other 2 chosen to have a blog. And, like, it opens up our horizons and, like, gives us, good standing on our transcript, but also it opens up opportunities for scientists to see what high schoolers have to blog about. And because you don't really hear about a lot of scientists going to high schoolers' blogs. So I kind of think it'll give them an idea of, like, what high schoolers think about, and open up more interactions and discussions.
So, the blog or the online magazine, whatever you want to call it, that I work for is targeted towards people in the triangle, some of whom are in science, some of whom are not. But I think they would all be really interested in learning about, and this is my last question before I'll move you on to Deline, but what excites you all about science?
I think it's really getting to know, so I have a dream, I guess you call it, of pursuing a career in science and really getting to know people that are in the career I want to go for, and getting to know what it's like, what they do on a daily basis, like what were their motives, what colleges they went to. It really gives me a head start meeting these professionals, and it really makes it'll help me figure out if I really do want to pursue that career, or do I want to move to, like, look into other careers or majors in college or whatever it may be.
I particularly love science because it's really that curiosity that everybody has when they're, like, a child, and with science you could really, like, pursue the answers to the questions you have and, like, open up your mind to different ideas that maybe other subjects don't let you do, like pursue, or don't let you do, like, hands-on. But science lets you do that.
Well, science for me, beyond just the experimentation and the creativity to create different things and see the results of any actions that you can take, it's also the effects of what you can experiment and end up creating if you kind of release that to the outside world and let them be able to use it. It's an entirely just beyond science experience.
Something that I like about science that it has, unlike any other subject, more of an ephemeral aspect to it, and that other topics like history and English, I mean, Columbus is not going to suddenly have different boat names, and there are no new English words coming out. While in science, things change every day, and there's the aspect of this is new and this is something I like. Well, in other subjects, that does not exist.
I like science because it enables us to see how things work. Ever since I was a little kid, I'd always loved animals, and I have a lot of different types of pets, like from crickets to rabbits or anything. And so now, once I reached 9th grade, I could learn how they work, how their bodies work, how they act in their environments, and how their environments are changing constantly due to global warming and other human causes.
Well,
I was going to agree with Paul that in science, it's pretty much everything that he said. It's always changing. In other subjects, it's in history, the past is the past. Math, 2 + 2 is always going to equal 4. In science, you're figuring things out. You're figuring out problems that can affect the future. While in other subjects, it's set in stone. But in science, it's hands-on. There's something different about science than other subjects.
Well, like Nassim said, like in hands-on stuff, you really don't get to do a lot of hands-on experiments in any other subject. But in biology and science, you get that opportunity to do hands-on experiments, and it's kind of fun because you're involved in it, and you're not just reading from a textbook. You're kind of doing what scientists do, but on a lesser level, I guess you could say.
I think we said it consistently throughout our session that it's all about relatability, and there's a branch of science for pretty much everything you're interested in. Like Justin's a huge sports fan, and he talks a lot about sports medicine, and then Carl loves animals, and for every single branch of science, it can personally relate to kids. So I think once you discover what you really love and what you're passionate about, it's pretty easy to pick something that you'd like to do in the science field.
I think I just want to say the take-home message, I think, for the community, for scientists and even non-scientists in the community, there really needs to be initiatives made to really get students to interact more one-on-one with students, or scientists to interact with students. The great thing about having the blog and why we ended up getting here is because it allows that interaction. And if more scientists, I would like to see even more scientists to start participating in communicating with my students via blogs or on Skype. You don't have to come to our classroom in person. There's so many ways you can go about doing that. And I think more scientists need to do that because I really have to work to reach out sometimes to find these scientists. And they're always very welcome and happy to come or participate. But not a lot of other science teachers know to do that, or they feel very intimidated. Whereas I have a science background, I don't feel as intimidated in approaching scientists. But you have so many science educators who are very fearful of maybe, they're too busy, I shouldn't contact these scientists. And I think there needs to be this way to bring them together. And I think blogs and other online tools are really great ways of doing that.